Good morning and welcome to what would be a Malvern Monday video, but as I finished a Great North Run yesterday, I am nowhere near the Malvern. So today, as you can see behind me here, this is Micklegate Bar in the wonderful city of York. So I'm going to take you on a tour around the city walls and let's see how long it takes, because right now it's 11:30 a.m. so we're going to start here at Micklegate Bar, walk all the way around and then back. So let's see how we get on. Follow me around on this little mini tour of York City walls. As I start my walk up the steps here at Micklegate Bar, I notice a sign just back there talking about the Siege of York in 1644. So there is a connection between York and my home city of Worcester, where there was a siege here for 3 months of the royalists holding out against the parliamentarians, and eventually they had to give it up. But yeah, quite a fight it was here, as you can imagine, back in 1644. Let's talk more about the history as we go around and discover on these wonderful city walls. I've got to say, in my opinion, in all of Britain, these are the best kept city walls, and also huge. You may have seen a couple of weeks back, I was at the Roman city of Carwent. Now, I appreciate Romans like 2,000 years ago. This one isn't 2,000 years ago, it's hundreds of years ago. So yeah, bit of a different times, but just as magnificent here. Something to be aware of as you're walking around the city walls. You can see here on the right that there's some railings, and a lot of the walls does have the railings, but as you see on this section here, there are no railings on the right hand side, so you need to be careful and very mindful of what's going on. But as we travel, we see many sights. Here on the right is the Grand Hotel, one of the most beautiful hotels in York City. We have railings again. Often when the wall runs out, we have to walk along the main roads. Here we are crossing the main bridge within York City Centre, going over the River Ouse, and there's some boat trips that happen as the day progresses, and you can pop down and get the trip on there. Again, walking along the roads, it isn't long before we bump into some tourists. You can see some that were passing on the right there, and here we have a group from Korea and Japan, all looking fine and dandy. Now, whilst walking around the wall, there was some sections where you have to get back on the road. The wall doesn't go the whole way around the city, so it gives me the time to do a slight detour here for York Minster and taking this in. Absolutely amazing building, and also a little bit about the Roman history here. Many will know that the history of York is about Vikings, but also there were Romans and the famous Roman emperor here, and there's also a Roman column dig up, which is a great sight to see, and along with some modern day gardening of the city name of York. Having completed the slight detour around York Minster, the Roman history, and a new sign that I've not seen before, done in sort of like a grass-like style, the word York, and obviously people like to take their selfies with those images just to let people know where they are. Okay, now back onto the city walls at Booth and Bar. I'm climbing back up onto the wall.
See the Roman wall underneath. It's also the most altered, because these originally started out small.
Lots of tour guides going on here, yes. Getting back on, and we're going to walk around literally on the side of York Minster and towards the back, seeing some beautiful gardens, and also pub gardens, yes. Or they call it the secret garden here. Not so secret, with an arrow telling you where to go. Now, whilst I've only been going about half an hour, it is lunchtime. I'm feeling a bit peckish, and there's some nice seating area here, so why not? Mini lunch stop complete. So let's continue along these city walls. As we're walking along this section just after Monk's Bar, there are some Roman wall remains down there, yes, from dating back, I say, almost 2,000 years. Amazing scene, Roman walls here, and here is the latest city walls, all in the sort of same location. We come up to a junction there. One of the signs said to go to the city centre. We avoid that route. We're going to go along to Red Tower City Wall. So there was a sign there saying which way to go. And I've just completed, the old Garmin bleeped at me, 3 kilometres in just under 55 minutes. Bearing in mind I did sit down for that little mini lunchtime stop. So making good progress, feeling good, especially considering after yesterday's rather hilly Great North Run. So this is a great recovery walk for me. Let's continue. So I've now arrived at Red Tower and rejoining the city walls. Yes, this marks the end, or is it the beginning of the wall? Let's continue. as you're walking along the walls, you don't really know what you're going to discover. I literally just stumbled upon a recent dig, and this was only discovered a couple of weeks ago. Medieval building, around 500 years old, and yeah, they're digging it up right now just to see what's down there. Hey, history all around us. Taken a slight detour from Fisher Gate. Yeah, Fisher Gate. Walk along literally just barely 100 yards, and you come into this small enclave here where there's a number of graves, but there's none other than Dick Turpin's grave. Yes, the dandy highwayman. I think obviously he was a criminal, so there's no signs saying, you know, Dick Turpin's grave here, so you need to know where to look. There are no tourist signs pointing to how to get here, but once you are here, it is quite clear with the signage in the actual graveyard that this is Dick Turpin's grave. Onwards up Fisher Gate Bar, back up onto the walls. Let's go. If you are thinking to doing a tour around the city walls, I just saw a sign which reminded me, if you do have a dog, dogs are not permitted on the city walls. As you can imagine, with most of the walls not having any barriers along the side, it wouldn't be terribly safe with a dog here. But yeah, just worth noting that, and also taking into account if you're going to be here with young children, that type of stuff, is it safe enough to walk around with them? Something to bear in mind if you're looking to do a tour around the city walls. Having come from Fisher Gate Bar, we're now at Fisher Gate Tower, where we exit the wall again, and we need to do a little bit of a short walk to rejoin the wall. Whilst walking along the section of the road to rejoin the city walls, we do come across a Clifford Tower here. Yes, Clifford Tower, and the inner city walls as well within the York itself. So quite a sight, well worth taking in as we're walking along the road to rejoin the city walls. So I've just re-entered onto the city walls, a section called Bale Hill, and as it says here, a tale of two castles, and how it used to look back in the day and how it is now. And there's all sorts of stories of sections that have all been demolished to allow through horse and carriage. Yeah, I know, modernisation, destroying history. Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new to be seen here. So same old story, you know, but it is fabulous seeing history. I'm going to continue my walk along the wall here and let's see what else we discover. So I'm back where it all started, here at Micklegate Bar. Yes, it took me in total 1 hour 36 odd minutes to get round, and that was starting from the bag drop-off point. So to get around the whole city walls, bearing in mind obviously my level of fitness, yeah, marathon fitness, all that type of stuff, I wouldn't say, you know, allow a bit more time. Maybe you want to do some stops, veer off some of the gates and bars and go to maybe some of the bars here and take in all the York City. Absolutely magnificent it is here, love it. And yeah, so much history, and I could really go on and on and on. Hope you enjoyed this. Yes, something a little bit different, and Malvern Monday, York City Walls Monday. Hey, what more do you want? Let's not forget, like with all big city tours, if you don't fancy walking, you can always get on the hop on, hop off bus, tour bus, that takes you around all the historic sites around York. Places of note to go and visit. Betty's Tea Room. The challenge with Betty's Tea Room, as you're about to see, is there's often very long queues to get in. As you can see right now, here's the queue for people to get in. Very popular with all the tourists because it is the traditional English tea room that people want to go into. But be prepared, you need to queue, so allow time for that. One of the absolute go-to places in York has got to be the Shambles. As you can see here, popular with the tourists, get those photos in, do the catalogue poses, shall we say, and yeah, rock and roll here. I've got to stress there are some shops that maybe to the traditionalists they wouldn't like it here on the shambles, but hey, that's commercialism for you. Supply and demand, I guess, yeah? But definitely worth a visit, and it is an absolute quintessential street here in York, so go visit. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little extra addendum, unscheduled, but say, hey, we have to be adaptable with things happen that are outside of our control. So a bit of an extra tour, mini tour, extra tour, whichever way you want to look at it. Very much enjoyed my latte, little snack. So time to pick up the luggage and get the train, hopefully, fingers crossed.